Hello everyone, welcome back to
I look so bored.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We've done part 2. Well, basically, we've been filming all of this.
We're at the end of the video.
Yeah, we've realised it's very long, so I'll probably be breaking it up in the edit because they'll be so long otherwise. So this is effectively part 2 of our Olivier Awards predictions and who we think will win. So it's going to be a bit of a weird cut to our continuing conversation.
And who knows where enough are going to come back and where one ended.
Who knows? It's a mystery. This has not been planned, but we just spoke for like over
literally 2 hours. So we're like, it must need to be cut down into 2.
It needs to be cut into 2. So
anyway, it won't keep us much longer.
Yeah,
so enjoy part 2.
Next category, we've got Best Actor in a Supporting Role in a Musical. So we've got Michael Gibson for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre, Ross Noble for Young Frankenstein at the Garrick Theatre, Jason Petticook for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre, and Cleve September for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre.
You're a Hamilton head, so you can give a good opinion on this. I think I know who'll win this. I think it's pretty obvious. I thought when I saw it. What's your opinion? Because you've seen all these. I haven't seen Ross Noble. So.
Yes. When I first saw Hamilton, I think I literally tweeted afterwards. I was like, give Jason Petticook that Olivier, like right now. I loved his performance. I know that some people haven't as much, and that's fine. But no, I just thought he was fantastic. I'm a bit confused as to why Michael Gibson has been nominated in this category. Not to say that he gave a bad performance in any way. I think he's hilarious. He's so good in the show. But I feel like the actor who plays like George Washington, for example, it's obviously like a bigger part, more central part. I feel like it would have been nice for him to get a nod instead. It's nice for Cleve to get a nomination. I think that's really cute. But yeah, I think Jason steals
and not Ross
one
Noble
for me. Ross Noble, he was good, but I just didn't really love Young Frankenstein, so I'm not gonna say him.
Move on then, I guess. I thought Jason Petticook when I first saw it, and I haven't questioned that since. I thought he was brilliant in Hamilton. I thought maybe he was the best performance in Hamilton.
Yeah,
I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
My answer to Michael Gibson, I've got a similar kind of thought on this. Cleve September, I had to really Google who he played in it because I was like, that is so random.
Yeah.
He's such a small and random role.
Yeah.
Surprised he was even eligible to be nominated for the supporting actor. Good for him, I guess, that he was nominated because he's been in Heights as well, I think.
Yeah.
I think I saw...
He's quite young.
I think someone we know might have interviewed them once.
Olivia has.
Was it Olivia?
Yeah, Olivia's done it.
That's what I've seen before then. Was it a video interview?
Below. No, it was blog.
Oh, well, I've seen someone's video interview. Maybe it was Amy. It was Amy Stutz. She did a video interview with him once. I think it was her. Anyway, I've seen someone do a video. I bet someone's watching this and it's like, it's me and we're not friends and I've been stalking you. So if it is you, I've been watching it. But yeah, someone did, I remember watching it and him being kind of talking about like, you could feel the passion radiating off of him then. So I'm kind of like, oh, that's great for him. But I thought it was a really random role to be nominated for. I think, I agree with you. The guy who played George Washington.
I'm not even going to try and
I'm surprised. I don't know. I don't even know. I can't remember who it was, but I just remember that's like a good example of who it was. Screen. And then Michael Gibson. Thoughts about Michael Gibson? I kind of agree with you because when it was on Broadway, obviously Jonathan Groff played King George III. And he was nominated. No, he was nominated for the Tony. Who beat? Oh, Daveed Diggs beat him for George Washington. Oh no, he wasn't.
No,
he was Jason Petticook's role.
For Jefferson
I don't know all the
Lafayette.
characters' names. Sorry, I'm not as big of a Hamilton fan as you are, Rukaya. I'm really sorry. Is that talking about Wicked in front of you? Like, I feel like I should quickly fact check. But anyway, yeah. When I saw this and I saw how little King George is in it, I was like, oh, that's another role that's surprising it can be nominated. Yeah. It's more like a cameo.
I think he literally has like 7 minutes on stage total.
Like my thought is it's like a cameo. Like if it was a movie, you'd get someone really high profile to play. Like you know, like Johnny Depp was in Into the Woods as a cameo as the wolf. It's like that level of a cameo. Like almost like he should play someone else as well. Level of cameo. Surprise only plays one role. Yeah. But I thought it was really good fun
that's got to be like the most chill show to be in for the role of King George.
Must be painfully boring to only be on stage 7 minutes. It must be such a lot of waiting around.
But you get so much done in
you get the recognition though. Yeah.
And technically get paid for it.
Brilliant fun.
Goals. But as I say, he is fantastic, but...
Well, I agree with you. Jason Petticook, I think. And I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Feel like
I think he is the most standout role in that.
Yeah, Jason's great. Next category, we've got supporting role in a musical. Wait.
Actress.
Supporting my brain is gone. Best actress in a supporting role in a musical, because I just read the second line down. So we've got Sheila...
A team, thank
you, for Girl from the North Country at the Old Vic and now the Noel Coward Theatre. Tracy Bennett for Follies at the National Theatre Olivier, Rachel John for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre, and Leslie Joseph for Young Frankenstein at the Garrick Theatre. It's Rachel John. That's who I want to win.
I really... I assume... the only one I haven't seen is Leslie Joseph. I really liked Rachel John in Hamilton, and I think I would be surprised if she didn't win it. I think her competition, in my heart competition, not necessarily her actual competition, I don't think, is Sheila Ratim for Girl from the North Country. She's incredible in Girl from the North Country. And she has one solo song, and I can't remember what Bob Dylan's song it is, but it's just mind-blowing, and I think she's really something special. But again, it's still... she was nominated for the Rising Star Award at the Evening Standard, so she's still pretty early on in her career in that sense. In the same way, I think John McCrae might have been nominated for that award as well. So in the same idea as saying people early on in their career, you know, further to go, maybe similar idea there for Sheila Ratim, but I just thought her performance in this was the example when I said, if there's one that they're really amazing at, you can't ignore them. I think this is can't ignore it situation. But then I also agree that Rachel John was fantastic in Hamilton. And Tracy Bennett was a great cameo in Follies. Carlotta, who she plays in Follies, is a bit like we were saying about King George, is very similarly like a bit of a cameo role. I thought Sheila Ratim was amazing. But then if Rachel John won, I wouldn't be annoyed at all, because she was the best part of... she was the best performer in Hamilton, in my opinion. I thought she was amazing. She's also been kind of waiting her time a bit. I mean, she was understudy to Beverly Knight in Memphis and The Bodyguard, I think. So she's done
following Beverly around.
She follows Beverly. So it's nice. I thought it was nice when she got cast as well. Actually, because she's been quite a prolific understudy and an underdog for a long time now. To see her have a chance to shine, and she is brilliant. So good. It's really great fun. So. I wouldn't be annoyed by that at all. Yeah,
because I know a lot of people have said like, oh, it's weird that Rachel Ango hasn't been nominated, and I read an article actually, it was quite interesting. It was something like the Eliza effect or something.
Because it said about how she wasn't nominated. Philippa Sue wasn't nominated.
Philippa Sue wasn't as well.
Oh no, she was.
But she was.
But she wasn't. There wasn't. She was overlooked.
Yeah,
the idea
I don't think she got nominated. Did she get nominated for the Tonys?
Yeah, she was a leading actress for the Tonys, but she was completely
there was other awards
overshone by Cynthia Erivo. But I think she's definitely the underrated role though.
Yeah.
And one that people overlook, which is bizarre because I think it's quite a big role.
Yeah, I was thinking like, if she were nominated, I'd still pick Rachel.
I didn't like her at all in Hamilton, Rachel Ango at all. But that was my opinion.
I feel like,
which is crazy because I loved her in Miss Saigon. But I thought she was a weird choice in Hamilton. But,
no, I agree with you.
But that was my thoughts on that.
Yes. Next category, we've got Best Director, and we've got Dominic Cooke for Follies at the National Theatre, Olivier, Marianne Elliott for Angels in America at the National Theatre, Littleton, Rupert Gould for Ink at the Almeida Theatre and Duke of York's Theatre, Thomas Cale for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre, and Sam Mendes for The Ferryman at the Gielgud Theatre and the Royal Court Theatre. Who do you think will win?
I think it will be Sam Mendes for The Ferryman, and I think it probably should be Sam Mendes for The Ferryman. I think the task that he took on was the biggest task. I think to take a script that has, was it 17 people in that play, which is a huge cast for a play, and they're all on stage almost all the time, and obviously it's one set, so they don't move anywhere. I think to orchestrate 17 people for almost, was it 3.5, nearly 4 hours that play?
No, 3. I think it's only 3:15. You know?
Oh, okay. Well, it's 3 hours plus. Yeah. You know, to orchestrate. And is it 3 acts, that play?
Technically.
Yes, it's a play of 3 acts. Yeah. I think that's such a mammoth task, and I think to be able to do that to great success. His direction was brilliant. It was just, you know, I just didn't enjoy it. This is a story very much, but I think and I do want to see it again before it closes. I really want to love it because I love Jez Butterworth anyway. Yeah. But I think his direction was incredible. So I think he's very deserving of winning. I think he did an amazing job on this play. Yeah. But the only other one that I thought...
I think it'll probably go to Hamilton.
Well, I was thinking, Tommy Cale for Hamilton. But then I think the Ferryman effect is the counter-argument.
And also the Follies effect.
I think the Follies... I don't know if Dominic Cooke's direction of Follies was necessarily brilliant. I think without the... I always think this in the idea of, if you remove things, does this thing still stand out on its own?
Yeah.
If I remove Janie Dee and Imelda Staunton from Follies, will it still be as brilliant? Probably, but I think the performances really hold it up. Yeah. And I wouldn't necessarily have looked at it and thought, really well moved about. It is well crafted. And I think there's also something to be said about, there's an art between directing a revival and directing a new production. Yeah. When he got The Ferryman, there's nothing but what's on the page. You have no even past catalogue. True. Follies has been around for nearly 30 years now. Yeah. So the idea of...
And Hamilton's pretty much like kind of cut and paste, I think.
Well, because they did it already. Yeah. But that's not to say that it's not new. I think, if there's a dispute, it will be Hamilton. Yeah. But I still think Sam Mendes is brilliant. But then I think all of them are fantastic this year. Yeah. And I also think it was a shame that James McDonald didn't get in for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, because in the same way that Sam Mendes was great with The Ferryman, I thought he was really brilliant at moving people around a room. The only thing that stood out to me in that was, because you notice this in shows where people drink a lot, is if they go and get drinks a lot, it feels like a bit of a cop-out effect of getting people to move a bit. That's something I noticed a lot in that, as people constantly were going to get drinks. It obviously was a reason for them to get up and move. And not necessarily that knocked his nomination down, but I think that maybe would make him, in my head, that really stood out to me, so that kind of saw the cracks. But if anything, that raises up other performances. So like Sam Mendes, it really raised the idea. In that, there was no time where I was like, they always keep doing that just to get them to move.
Yeah.
It never felt like they were moving for the sake of moving. In The Ferryman, they were...
Moving with purpose.
It was supposed to be naturalistic, and it was very naturalistic.
Yes. Yeah, it really
and there's
was.
a real artistry behind doing that, I think. And I think that's brilliant. Invisible directing, I think, is a good way of phrasing it, and that stuck out for that.
Whereas I think I like the way Hamilton's done because of sort of the opposite in a way, because I feel like, I don't know, some people probably don't feel this, but I feel like with Hamilton it is quite all like very calculated.
But then I questioned that.
Like that.
See, I thought that when I was looking at that, and I think the structure to Hamilton, which you only notice when you see it on stage, I never noticed from the cast recording, is the way it's written, the structure of the story is actually incredibly intricate and very well calculated and very well worked out. Obviously the book that Lynn worked out to then put his music to is incredible. I just don't know where the line is there between the direction and the book, the book being involved in his lyrics, I don't know whose craft it was that made it that way. When I think about the direction of Hamilton, I think about the revolve and the turning back time and satisfied, which is, I think, ingeniously clever. I think that's fantastic. And obviously that is quite heavily Tommy Kail and also David Corrins, who did the set design, who wasn't nominated, surprisingly. I think I said that to you before. I was very surprised he wasn't nominated, because I think the set design's brilliant.
We'll talk about that.
I don't know where the line is drawn there. If both could win, I think I'd let both win, because I thought it was brilliant. But then I thought all was good. I thought Rupert Gould, Ink, which you didn't see, but Ink was very, in the same way that Hamilton is all kind of hitting the mark and going, Ink was almost like a play that felt like a musical because of the way it was constructed. And I don't know if that was James Graham's writing or if it was Rupert Gould's direction or both coming together. That was brilliant. And of course Marion Elliott's amazing. And Angel America, the same, was a lot of coordinating that. So I thought actually all the directors this year are fantastic. And they all managed to craft really good productions. But I think The Ferryman in my heart. But fair enough,
Hamilton's in mine, And then we've got Best Theatre Choreographer. So we've got Andy Blankenbuehler for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre. Bill Deemer for Follies at the National Theatre Olivier. Kate Prince for Everybody's Talking About Jamie at the Apollo Theatre. Randy Skinner for 42nd Street at Theatre Royal Drury Lane. And Christopher Wheeldon for An American in Paris at the Dominion Theatre.
You go first.
I wanted to go to Hamilton.
I want to go to Hamilton. I think that that's the same line, I think, as Tommy Kail's direction, Andy Blankenbuehler's choreography. They must be I'm surprised for Hamilton it wasn't a direct choreographer, because it feels it is so linked.
I mean, it's a very close creative team.
I mean, they are all friendly,
they all,
obviously.
know each other so well.
But I don't know where the line draws there. So I think that if Tommy Kail doesn't win, it should definitely be Andy Blankenbuehler, because I think that's obviously where he picked up then, I guess. I think the rival here that I thought was actually very worthy of maybe winning if they do is Randy Skinner for 42nd Street. As much as I didn't enjoy that. I think
that's my second.
Yeah, in the same way as The Ferryman with Sam Mendes, he had a huge job of essentially choreographing 17 people. They have, was it over 40 people in the ensemble there?
Because remember I counted.
It's so big that to reinforce the stage.
I think it's just under 50 people.
One of the biggest ensembles they've ever had in a musical. To choreograph for such a big group, and it's never boring. That was one thing I always remembered about it. It's never boring, and to move that many people. I think is incredible. So that's it's the same way as, that's my exactly same argument as Hamilton Ferryman for direction is Hamilton 42nd Street, exact same reasons.
I'm glad we've agreed on most of these, there's not really any category that we've been like, no, you're wrong. No, it's really nice. I totally agree. I wasn't really I mean, obviously Follies, I didn't have the best experience, but I didn't remember.
I thought Follies was great. I don't know if it was necessarily there's not much dance to Follies.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. I was just
It's a Sondheim show. There's not much dance to it. There's only the dance number that they have, where they have, the mirror between the two. And I thought it was great, but I don't know if that's Olivier.
I didn't but then there's not many choreography show.
I don't think I put down any other shows I thought the choreography stuck out in my head, but maybe that was just kind of to fill the gap. I don't know. Maybe.
Isn't it interesting this year how some categories have so many nominations and then some have just 3?
Well, I guess because they didn't have enough to fill this year, I don't think. But I think the cap is 5, isn't it? They don't ever have more than 5 in their categories. So.
Next category we've got is Best Set Design, and we've got Bunny Christie for Ink at the Almeida Theatre and Duke of York York's Theatre, Bob Crowley and 59 Productions for An American in Paris at the Dominion Theatre, Rob Howell for The Ferryman at the Gielgud Theatre and Royal Court Theatre, and Vicky Mortimer for Follies at the National Theatre, Olivier.
Do you have opinions? You've seen 3 of these, so...
Yeah, I actually would like this to go to Follies, I think, because I really, really liked the set design.
You fell short in this one because I think the clear winner is actually Bunny Christie for Ink. And you haven't seen it, so you've fallen short for that. Obviously, I've not seen it.
I remember when you saw it, you raved about the set.
Yeah, the set is just so... it's almost like a character into the story, so maybe an image is helpful. So Rukaya will have put an image, but I don't think you can fully encapsulate it. I'll find an image for you to put that best encapsulates what I'm going to try and describe. But it's basically, it's like filing cabinets are stacked up at the back to almost build what it was. The only way I can describe it in a similar way to how intricate it was, it's like, imagine the letter blocks from Matilda were the back wall set, and they used for the entire story. Oh no, you know what is really good? You know the girls, they had they had all the cupboards and stuff that made the set, exactly the same way as that, filing cabinets and stuff. But instead of that, it was still all on the ground. That didn't have much level to it. There are multiple levels in this set, and they can climb through and they can go down. It was so... And they had a full wall of projection at the back. Yeah. It was beautifully designed, and I think it was in itself really a character in the tale. In the same way as Seshu, it almost felt like a musical. It was so... That's how it worked. Yeah. It worked like a musical. It didn't just feel like a play. And I think the set design is something that's really great to put to that. That was just incredible. Yeah. I think it should be Bunny Christie. But there is a lot to be said about... things like The Ferryman, where it's one set. Yeah. There's something to say about the way that is set designed by people who pick out obviously every item that's in there. Another one that had an amazing set I thought this year was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf for the same reason. That room was gorgeous. It's set in their front room. And at one point when I went to go and see it, I walked down to the very front and I looked into the set. I stood at the very front of the stalls and looked in, because everything obviously is selected by hand. Every book that's in there is selected to be of that thing. It's also intricate. And the same as The Ferryman. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. But Ink was so... The set in Ink was a character in itself, I think, so I think that's why it's deserving of winning. I can see arguments for all of them. I think Follies is brilliant, and An American in Paris is great for its projection work, so it's all for different reasons.
When I think about it, I'm like, I don't remember the sets in American in Paris, like, blowing me away. Yeah. So, and I think, I was... I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but I was like, if Hamilton is not going to be nominated for something, then I think that set design would be... Well, I was surprised by that, because there's only 4 nominees, so they had a space for another one if they wanted to put one in. I was quite surprised it wasn't nominated for this, for the same reason as I said about The Ferryman, is having one set and it being able to be used for... I mean, I guess in the same way Ink was actually technically one set that was used in so many different ways. It was a very multi-purposeful set. Think about the moving staircase and stuff and things that came down and... Oh yeah, I did. And the revolve. I think it was very well crafted into the story. I'm surprised it wasn't nominated, but going back to my famous phrase of some of its parts, maybe in that sense it falls under that worked well for the direction. Maybe they thought it leaned onto that more, because all the parts in Hamilton, it's very much a show where they're all amazing parts that lean on each other a lot. Yeah. So where are the lines between all these things? Because obviously it was just a team that really leaned on all the other roles, and brought them all to the forefront. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing to note. Next category we've got is Best Costume Design, and we've got Hugh Durrant for Dick Whittington at the London Palladium, Roger Kirk for 42nd Street at Theatre Royal Drury Lane, Vicky Mortimer for Follies at the National Theatre Olivia, and Paul Tazewell for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre. I don't really have an opinion on this one or too much. Do you? Yeah, what do I put? That I think it will go to Hamilton, but I also kind of would want it to go to 42nd Street. That was quite literally my thought. Yeah. If I had a thought process. But in all honesty, I didn't really have much of an opinion, because in all cases, I never looked at the costume and thought that's award worthy. There was no true standout costume this year, so I don't want to give an opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I have a strong enough one. Because I think it's really interesting. Like, I think with 42nd Street, it's the scale. And like the number of costumes, and I do like, if a show is going to be like really memorable for me in terms of costumes, like they have that gorgeous moment with all the it's like the rainbow scene, I call it. I think that's gorgeous. But with Hamilton, it's interesting because it's the simplicity of the costumes, but also like how they have a sort of traditional style but also feel really modern, and they do obviously fit the piece perfectly. At the same time, they're almost not outstanding. My Hamilton costume argument is they don't add anything in my head, but I think it should win purely because the costumes have become iconic. If you saw the 3 sister dresses,
or the ensemble dresses, without a head on them, you'd know what they were. And I think for that kind of pop culture appreciation, I think that's kind of a place for it to go.
Yeah. Next, we've got Best Lighting Design, and it's Howell Binkley for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre, Paul Constable for Angels in America at National Theatre Littleton, also Paul Constable for Follies at the National Theatre Olivier. And then, wow, this, I'm gonna butcher this name.
I think it's Versveld. I think it's Jan Versveld.
Do you not think it's Jan? Do you think it's Jan?
It might be Jan Versveld.
Jan Versveld for Network at the National Theatre Littleton. Strong category for the National Theatre.
They're very good with the lighting. I mean, Paul Constable does so much amazing lighting for like, if you see something that's from the National, Paul Constable's probably done the lighting, because he's always done everything. The same with like Paul Arditi does sound design for things. There's people at the National that do everything, so that's why he's probably double nominated for this. He gets picked for all the big projects. What do you have an opinion on this? I do have I actually have an opinion on this one, so.
So I've obviously seen 2 out of 4. I'm a bit obsessed with the lighting in Hamilton.
I think the lighting in Hamilton is in the same way that the setting ink is a character in itself. It's a little bit of a character. It helps a lot with the direct spotlight on click boom, wherever it is, you know, he does that. And in the moving back time, I think it's used very well. So I think I can see that being a winner. But then I think the lighting in Angels in America is extremely atmospheric. I remember that being quite impactful on my emotional response to Angels in America. Follies I thought was great again, but it just didn't. I didn't notice it as.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, that.
Yeah,
lighting.
I wasn't like brilliant lighting. It was good lighting though. And Network, I think this is really tricky because Network should definitely have given some sort of like special award for its technical usage, because it has basically the entire stage wall is projections, but it also has live camera feeds. And there's actually one point in the play where Michelle Dockery and the guy, whoever she's talking to, I can't remember who plays the guy she's talking to, they actually are like talking. You can see them on the screen. You're like, oh, it's been filmed. You're like, it's a live camera, and they're out on the river, on the River Thames, stood up by the river outside the National, and then they walk all the way into the theatre and onto the stage, and it films them. And there's things like that. I mean, I've seen that kind of thing before. We used to do that in school a lot. That's the funny thing. That's like a thing that I think there must have been one show that you learn about in school, because I remember I did it once in a school play that you had someone in the courtyard and we filmed them walking all the way in. It's live camera feed. But things like that to be articulated.
For doing that at school.
Yeah, I don't know how the school had the equipment for that, but our school had the equipment to do that once. So I remember we did that once. And I saw it in another play that someone had done the year before, which is why we did it in ours. So it was quite a popular thing to do.
No, I'm sorry. I'm shook at that. Where, like, literally just outside the National Theatre they did it?
Yeah, so you know when you stand outside the courtyard, which they'd worked on for ages, and there's like, you know, the riverfront there. Yeah. They're stood there chatting, and I was like, oh, this is a funny video clip. And I was like, oh, it's live. They're actually stood there, because you could see people walking past going like, looking at the screen like, what's going on? And then they filmed them literally continuously walking, live filming all the way back in until they sat down at the table on the stage. Just a bit of fun, really. I mean, it was just a bit of a gimmick, I think, but it was quite good fun.
That sounds amazing.
It was brilliant, and of course, and I think they had like the restaurant on stage. There's something about the technical ability of that play that was brilliant. Yeah. They had the restaurant on stage, people eating all the time, people were being fed. I mean, it's very similar. It was directed by Ivo van Hove, and he did a production called Roman Tragedies, which I might talk about, which was like the 7 or 8 hour Shakespeare at the Barbican that I saw, and it was like 7 hours, and it was Shakespeare, and all in, I always say Danish, it's not in Danish, I can't remember what language it was in, but it's not in English. It was subtitled, and it was very similar. It was set in a similar looking environment, had the same kind of live camera idea, and had an onstage restaurant, so it was very similar to that, which is kind of why I think my opinion on Network is a bit like that, because I'm like, it's kind of your recycled idea, but in theory, no, like Roman Tragedies only ever played like 6 performances over 2 runs at the Barbican, so no one's really seen it. So in that, I can see the point in reviving the idea. Going back to lighting, I think there's something to be said about lighting a stage that is full of screens, because obviously that's such a balance to have, because you can't have glare and things and all that. So I think there's a real talent behind doing that. But I just wish that Network could have some sort of special award this year for their technical achievements, because I think the technical achievement on Network is well worthy of some sort of recognition, because especially if you're interested in tech and I wanted to look back on something, I think an amazing case study or something on Network or some sort of showcase would be brilliant.
I mean, there will be, won't there?
I hope there is for some reason though, because I think if that's what you're interested in the technical side of theatre and doing that kind of thing, and that it was just so unique, its technical achievement and the direction of that should be recognised. Yeah. We're really gone off on a tangent. I'm just conscious of the fact we've actually sat here for 2 hours at this point, it feels like. I think we've been here for 90 minutes or so. But I hope you're enjoying the conversation we're having. I hope it's worthy.
I think people
hopefully it's worthy of listening back to.
They like listening to us chat about theatre.
Hopefully.
I don't know why you're here otherwise. Yeah. So, doing a little hate watch or something.
Yeah, maybe. And if you are, you're really quite deep into hate watch at this point.
Well done. Okay, so yeah, I I say Hamilton. You're going for...
Hamilton, I think Hamilton was the right one.
Yeah,
but
cool.
Kudos to Network.
Yeah, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we've got Best Sound Design, and we've got Tom Gibbons for Hamlet at the Almeida Theatre, Gareth Owen for Bat Out of Hell the Musical at the London Coliseum, Eric Schleicham? Eric S. for Network at the National Theatre in Littleton.
Sorry, Eric.
And Nevin Steinberg for Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre.
I was thinking about sound design this year because I think in the same way to lighting, it's something that needs a lot of thinking about to see what their good sound design comes from. Hamlet to me never rang. I don't know what sound would have been amazing sound design. Thinking while it's on my mind, by the way, Hamlet also did the same idea of the live camera feed, but it was inside the theatre.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of strange. He was holding, Andrew Scott was holding a camera to Juliet Stevenson and her husband in the story. I can't remember the character's name, which is terrible. And they're filming him live on screen, and I was actually in between their heads on the front row, so I was sorry. Just remembered that. But that's not sound design, but that just came to my mind now thinking about it. So I didn't remember any sound design in that. I feel like I've missed out on this because I feel like maybe, just assuming, I haven't seen Bat Out of Hell yet, but I feel like Bat Out of Hell maybe is the most worthy winner.
I also agree,
because I think, and I'm kind of into this at the moment because I'm reading Andrew Lloyd Webber's memoir. I've been pacing myself by the way. It came out over a week ago.
Not Spawn.
No, not Spawn. And side note, I've been reading it for like a week. I'm really trying to pace it because I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying not to digest it, but at the same time, I'm taking in a lot of stuff about him at the same time because obviously there's a lot about him at the moment because it's his birthday coming up and all this is being released. And it was talking in there about sound design of Jesus Christ Superstar in different productions. I read about it and saying about how difficult it is to mix brilliant sound for rock in a theatre setting because it's not designed to house that music equipment in the same way that a concert venue is to have that kind of loud it's organised to amplify an orchestra, and an orchestra works very differently to a rock band. And I think not only that case of Bat Out of Hell, but also to do it in a space that naturally would house operas, and a lot of cases for opera it's not mic'd. I mean, opera I've seen 2 operas now at the Coliseum. Both operas are not mic'd, so it's completely designed in a different way for sound design. And I think to design sound in a rock setting in the Coliseum, it's an opera venue, I think is a very impressive feat to have achieved. Yeah. And I'm actually really excited to see it. After having gone through this Andrew Webber stint, I know I said before negative things on your part about Bat Out of Hell, I don't want to see a Meatloaf show. I'm actually really excited to see it now. I kind of am into the mood to see it.
Because
so that's kind of my thought on that.
If you watch me, you probably know that I did not like Bat Out of Hell, but I didn't like it because of the book. I thought the story of it was rubbish, but I actually went to a press event for it yesterday, and they did a concert, and then we actually got to go into the Dominion Theatre to see the Get-In, which was so cool. They're literally
vlog linked? Is there a vlog?
It'll be a vlog.
I'm excited to see the vlog.
Probably be out before this, hopefully. That was fascinating to see, and it was some of the creative team talking about obviously the show, and they spoke about the sound and everything as well. And I thought, you know what, actually one of the great things about this show was how they did the sound and everything. I thought it was really fascinating. And as well, it's kind of one of those that has a lot of atmospheric sound. I can't remember if it was Gareth Owen now, I think it must have been. He was talking about the fact that there's never really a quiet moment. It's not like there's constantly music loudly playing, but there's always little hints of sound that you'd really notice if they weren't there. And I thought, you know what, kudos, that was really good. I also feel like Hamilton, I really like their sound design as well.
I remember thinking about the sound for Hamilton, but I think it's because there's new orchestrations for the London production, which I think I picked up on. Some things have been slightly tweaked, so I noticed that. I'm not quite necessarily sure if it was the sound design. I mean, I guess, but I think this is a hard one for me because the one I think should win, and the one I have a strong opinion on, funnily enough, I haven't seen yet. This is another one it's a bit like costume design. I was a bit I guess. The ones I've seen, I was they necessarily relied on sound enough to be impressive in the same way the Bat Out of Hell surely relied on, had to do something special for sound. Yeah, definitely. No, I think I would not be shocked if it went to Bat Out of Hell, and I would be fine if it went to Bat Out of Hell, but I'd also be quite happy if it went to Hamilton. So, last category that we're going to do is Outstanding Achievement in Music. I love this category idea because it's so different to it is really good. The idea of doing a score where the things that get nominated. Last year, the winners were the School of Rock Kids. It was so much fun. They were winners last year because they were brilliant. I think it's such a cool category. Yeah, it is great. So we've got Dan. I was
get scared of saying his name wrong. Dan Gillespie.
I've never said it out
Dan
loud
Gillespie
before, so I've never thought about
Sells for composing and orchestrating. Everybody's talking about Jamie at the Apollo Theatre. The Orchestra of Follies under the music supervision of Nicholas Skilbeck and music director Nigel Lilly at the National Theatre Olivier. Bob Dylan for composing and Simon Hale for orchestrating and arranging Girl from the North Country at the Old Vic and the Noel Coward Theatre. And Lin-Manuel Miranda for composing Hamilton at the Victoria Palace Theatre. I think Alex Lacamoire should have also been mentioned in that because he's a strong part of.
Perhaps I wonder how they work it out, because in some cases, like the Old Vic one, so that's Bob Dylan and Simon Hale. That he was a composer and the orchestrator, whereas Lynn's just the composer. So I wonder how they articulate. Will it be both of them or will it be neither?
I just think that's interesting.
Because I wonder. I don't know. I mean, the thing with orchestration that's difficult to know the difference between the composer and the orchestrator if they're different people, is how many instruments was it originally written for when Lynn wrote it? Did he only write it for a piano part and a vocal part, or did he write it for several instruments? You know, I don't know whether.
Yeah, I'm not
it depends
sure where
on
the line is
some
there.
composers only, like Sondheim only writes. I don't think he orchestrates his own pieces. Some cases.
Fake fan.
I'm not quite sure. I don't know if he orchestrates. I'll find that out for myself. I think like some people like him, and I know Weber does orchestrate his own pieces, but some initially a lot of people like that would only write for piano, and then it gets orchestrated out. I think Lynn probably, especially for Hamilton, must do more than just a piano part.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different technical elements to the sound. But I agree with you. I was quite surprised he wasn't part of that. And I think there was another one I put for this one. I think it was Lady Day, and I know that's a weird one. But I thought the musical achievement of having that live band in Lady Day was actually quite impressive, and the authentic sound they made
as well. Yeah.
And I think they made. I think also because they were also kind of like, they weren't actors, but they were in the story.
Yeah.
And I think the whole idea of them was that it's a shame that they're not put down as well, because I thought they were quite good fun.
And also kind of in a similar way of Bat Out of Hell, like having that kind of like, not small, but like a jazz band to be in a theatre and still sound as good in a theatre space, not like a small sort of club space. It's a good shout.
But who do you think then?
I mean, I think it will go to Lynn.
See, I don't think it will go to Lynn.
Yeah.
Because I think last year, I can't remember the nominees of last year, but I think last year there was a nominee that was like that. There was there was a score.
Like a sort of obvious
let's just have a look. I think it was an obvious one, and then it was the kids, and I was like, oh, that's really great. It was the kids. What was last year? Oh, see, last year I thought it was going to be the Jesus Christ Superstar Band and Company.
Yeah.
Because they Henry Krieger for Dreamgirls, and there were things like that. And then it was the kids for School of Rock, and I quite like that it's a bit of a different winner than just a score winner.
Yeah.
I think the one I want to win would be Bob Dylan and Simon Hale for Girl from the North Country. Not saying that because my friend's dad is Simon Hale, but Friend from School's dad as well.
With everyone.
But Friend from School's dad, it's not even like it's just someone like that. So not saying that out of like a personal like my friend's family to win, but also
but that would be cool.
would also be cool. And her mum was nominated last year as well.
Oh, yeah,
her mum Claire Moore was in the girl.
Yeah.
It was in the girl. So great that she two parents either year winning. Nominated. Anyway, I also think when I saw it, I thought it's incredible how you can turn something like Bob Dylan's score into the style of show this is. When you see it, you'll understand, but you're like, Bob Dylan's so random for this.
Yeah.
The actual story behind Girl from the North Country, I found out the other day, was Bob Dylan just wanted a musical of his songs and just approached Conor McPherson and said, write and direct something with these songs. You've got the full catalogue, as manager said.
It's kind of nice as well, because then it's not like it is kind of a jukebox, I guess, but then it's like, from what I've heard, it's not a jukebox.
But it's not at all. It's such an interesting way of working, and they work really well, which I'm quite surprised by. And for that reason, to make them work well would not necessarily just be the story structure, but also have to be authentic orchestrations, and the songs just feel authentically natural. It could almost be a play with music, and you wouldn't question it. That's how it just works. It really is quite organic, and it works. So I think that was brilliant. And I can't remember, where's the other nominees now? To see them there. Oh, Follies was the other one, because I remember when I saw Follies, being a Sondheim fan, when you hear like good orchestrations of music you like, you're like, wow, this sounds amazing. The same as like hearing like a good cover of a pop song, I suppose, that you like. It's the same way. And hearing that, I was like, the band sound amazing with this. The orchestra, sorry. So I'd like them as well. But I think I'd be quite happy if it went to Girl from the North Country, really. But I can see the Hamilton argument because the score is pretty good. So yeah.
The camera.
We have
build up.
Well, you'll know because you're watching. But we have been sat here
for a long
I've been sat on this
time.
seat at least before we recorded for over 2 hours now. So we've been here a long time.
So yeah, the memory card just filled up, so we can't remember.
But we hope you're enjoying the
where
chatter.
we finished.
I hope we're enjoying some like good facts and maybe discussion.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
I hope so. But I think you were just saying.
The guys have said
about
before
fact.
watching that they enjoy us long.
Yeah,
talking,
and I've not done like
non-chatting.
really long chatty videos with someone.
No,
in
this
a
is
long
very
time.
Sam for God. This is very Sam for God. Who hopefully is watching. If you're watching, Sam will know because you would have commented on the joke.
Yeah,
I'm sure she's sat here watching.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I think you were just saying about the fact that
We were just saying the score's brilliant for Hamilton.
yeah, the score
It is really good, so I can see it winning that. But just because of the style of award, I think that's maybe why I'm a bit against it winning. Because I'm like, oh, it's a fun award that could be like someone else winning.
Yeah, I agree with you. That could definitely be different.
Yeah. That's all the categories. We've done it.
We've finished.
One final question I'm going to ask you then. That
Yes.
you curveball, you're not even ready for me to ask you this. What was your favourite show of this year that you saw?
Oh my goodness. I mean, the first one that screams out is Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
I'm looking at you because I'm like,
decision.
I'm going to have to answer it now.
Yes,
And I hadn't
you
thought to
are.
answer it.
You are. You give me a
Oh, no, I was like,
question
oh my
without
God, what was my
thinking of
favourite?
your own answer.
I'm going to give a favourite play and a favourite musical because I think I don't want to compare them because they are
Yeah.
quite different. My favourite musical was Follies because I love Follies, and I think there's something really exciting about Follies as a show on its own. If it wasn't a star in it, and I guess it wasn't the National, it's not necessarily the most commercially viable musical on the planet. And I just think it was cool to approach it. And I think out of all I mean, they do a lot of Sondheim these days anyway. I mean, they did Sweeney Todd with Imelda. Imelda's always in Sondheim. They did Sweeney Todd with Imelda. Like, those kind of shows are a lot more marketable. I think this is really exciting, and equally as exciting as like Company later on this year. While I'm mixed excited for that because I'm not overly on board with the gender swap title. That's not because I'm against the idea of it. I actually saw a production. I don't know if I said it in one of your videos before. I saw a production of Company where they'd sex swapped the lead at Edinburgh Fringe 2 years ago.
No, I don't think you've mentioned
and it's one of the things I was like, why? I didn't get it.
There's no purpose
and
to
it didn't work. It didn't add anything to it, and it felt a bit uncomfortably forced. I think Bobby is a character that's really written to be a certain type of man. And if you've seen productions of it, you'll know that he is it's just a certain type of like middle-aged man that he really suits being, and he's kind of sweet and charming. So I don't see
Is that the character that Patty's going to be playing?
No, Patti LuPone plays Joanne.
Oh yes,
who's like.
So
she's played before as well.
Craig is essentially
Rosalie Craig is playing Bobby.
Middle-aged man.
Yeah, middle-aged man. Yeah, like a 35-year-old man.
Brilliant.
But sure as to be playing a 35-year-old woman. I'm just intrigued by it because I didn't enjoy production of it before. This is obviously not a discussion that needs to be necessarily had in this video, but that's just Company is my favourite musical. That's kind of why also this kind of my argument because I really enjoy it as it is, and I just think it's a really well written character. So the idea of like reworking it. It's like, I think the Edinburgh one though was just kind of chop and change the name and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully they really change the dynamic in this.
More
and if it is a completely new
it.
production, of course I'll be on board with it. I think the idea is exciting. I think the only reason I'm sad is I just really want to see a really great random Company, and it has to be like, it's obviously going to be like a reworking, a reimagining as opposed to a revival. So I'm like, I wish it was like a quick revival and they could bring this. But I'm excited for it anyway.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, but Follies, the thing about Sondheim is there are some Sondheim shows that aren't commercially viable, so it's really exciting. There's a huge revival of Follies that's not necessarily his most commercially viable show. It's just really exciting to get to see it. It's just full, lavish, and like defiant. It's like a definitive production, It's a really big production. And exciting that it's coming back next year. And it's not only coming back to the National, Olivier, it's also going to transfer. They're aiming for it to transfer as well, to have a West End run. So we're going to get loads of Follies. So I'm going to see it loads of times. So I'm really excited about it.
I'll hopefully enjoy it more next time. Because I wanted to love it. Like, I was so excited to see it, but I think it was just having the bad setup going
We'll go with me. Because it might be like
buzz.
We've seen something before, actually, where you said, I'll have to go together. It was me and you, so you could get buzzing for it. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, there was something else I really loved, and we had to go together, and then you were like, I kind of get it a bit better now, because I was buzzing to see it. I can't remember what it was now.
What show was that?
Might have been a play or something.
Might have been.
I don't remember what it was.
No, I can't remember.
But there was that, and then my play answer is Ink, which I said before was my favourite play of last year. It played out like a film and a musical all at once on stage. It was an experience more than it even was a play. It was just really good fun. Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
No, my pleasure.
So, I hope you've enjoyed this 3-hour long video.
Yeah, however long we've been sat there, I don't know how long we've been in it.
Hopefully less than 2 hours. Jesus.
I don't think it is though. I think maybe just, might be shy, but...
We will see. But obviously, we would like to know who you think will be winning at the Olivier Awards this year? Let us know in the comments below.
And I chase up comments on videos I'm in with you.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Shaun loves
I do come and chase up, so if you do comment, we'll both reply.
Yeah,
because I do come
absolutely.
and chase up. So.
Someone, by the way, on the Barnum video asked, I think, where your jumper or blazer was from.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go reply. Yeah, I haven't checked that video yet, so I'll go and check that one.
So yes,
I was even wearing, so I'll find out.
Let us know what you think will win, and also who, like, if there are any shows that were snubbed in your opinion.
Did you see Angels America and feel sad for Nathan Lane?
Yeah.
Because I feel sad for Nathan Lane.
I think shows, first ones that come to mind that I think should have got nominations and just were ignored. The Grinning Man and Romantic Synonymous.
Yes, I've read about these. I haven't seen either. But I read that. I was very surprised that they were completely omitted.
Those were two that I
Mine was Mosquitoes and maybe Heisenberg, but definitely Mosquitoes. I was like, everyone loved Mosquitoes. What happened? And maybe like Barbershop Chronicles. Oh, that was, I saw an article about Barbershop Chronicles. That was such a popular, that came back as well.
Yeah.
And people loved that, and it was such a culturally defining show. I'm surprised it didn't get like a nomination in any form of way. That was another one that I was quite surprised by. And I read there was an article about that somewhere that I read about that I thought was also quite interesting. And maybe Annie Baker's John. I don't know if where that falls in. It's been open for a while. I don't know where it falls into where the nomination cutoff was. I don't actually remember. I think it might have started only in January, so it might have been far too close. But that was another one that I was like, wow, that was another play that was like, they like a bit of Annie Baker. And I think it's mainly because of some of the, I think the reason I think some of them are snubbed, I don't know about you, is because there are a lot of ones this year that I looked at nominations, I was like, oh, like things like when I said about Hamlet, I've said already, and I just like choked on air. That was the world telling me shut up. But yeah, I think like network awards, I was like, oh really? So I think there are sometimes where I'm like, wow, there are things like, and you say like the Grinning Man especially, and Romantic Anonymous, which everyone loved. Yeah. Hopefully Romantic Anonymous maybe transfers, and then hopefully then it's still eligible, because I'm not sure, because when I think about things like Amadeus came back, I'm sure that wouldn't have been eligible because that returned, and Follies are sure it'll be eligible again next time. So hopefully, I guess because it's a transfer, it might hope. But hopefully, because I want to see that as well, and
because I
you
was
love that as well.
So confused because it was one of those two shows I had to look and see who was like eligible for nominations, because I was like, were they not? Like what?
But definitely
that's nothing.
But definitely Falco Studios one is. Yeah. So that's exactly. I'm shocked by that.
So yeah, let us know if you think any shows or people or whatever, anything should have been nominated, because
any Nathan Lane.
We love to know your thoughts. Thanks, Shaun, for joining me.
Thanks, Rukaya, for having me. I'm looking at my fake watch for 2 hours at least.
We love a good.
Thanks for watching.
We love a good chat.
We do. We do love a chat. We've been saying for a long time we'll do a long chatty video. Yeah, so we've got a lot of this year's thoughts out, perhaps. But thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Go follow Shaun.
Yeah.
On his social media. Just keep up with what he's doing. He's always doing
I'm up to.
so many things. Jesus.
And we still are waiting to eventually tackle our idea of doing some big chatty videos ourselves. Not as long as this one, maybe half the length.
My God.
Maybe a bit less than half the length of this.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 30
but we want
max.
to have some topic discussions to chat about. And you've given ideas, you've written down ideas. I know you have.
I've got ideas.
So if anyone has any more ideas, please drop them down below for us, because we
will get around to that.
And if you got to this point, you clearly enjoy us chatting, so you obviously might have some ideas of what you want us to have opinions on and
hopefully
and discussions.
This is essentially a visual podcast. I feel like the way we've chatted on so much. But hopefully, if you've enjoyed it, give it a good old.
And well done to you for sitting through.
And well done. Give yourself a pat on the back and like go have a nap or something, because I feel like you need to.
Definitely.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, as I said, leave all your thoughts below. And we're going to film a much shorter video, still related to do with the Oliviers. We're going to film a video talking about the categories that we would like to see in the Oliviers, because I thought that'd be quite a nice idea to do. And yeah, hope you're all doing really well, and we will see you very soon. Bye!
Bye!